You're listening to the Every Student, Every Day podcast with me, Jim Franchini, Superintendent of the Averill Park Central School District.
Welcome to this episode of the Every Student, Every Day podcast. Here at the district, we do a lot of work with our community in trying to help those who are less fortunate. And we have a lot of groups and clubs within each of our buildings, and certainly a lot of really outstanding community partners. So during this time of year, we thought it'd be nice to feature some of those people and some of those groups at the great work they're doing. So we wanted to do a podcast, as the title of this one is, on the season of giving. And we have some of the really outstanding key players who help the district carry out that work and really fulfill our mission, which includes meeting the needs of students every day. So thank you to those who are joining us. We'll start by just having you introduce yourselves. So if you just let us know your name, your organization, or what level or what club you sort of represent, and some of the work that you do here in the district or with the district. So Tim, why don't we start with you?
Sure. Good morning, and thank you for allowing me to talk with you all. So my name is Tim Murdick. I'm the president of the Kiwanis of Sand Lake, also the president of the Nopiates Committee. Thank you for having me.
Great. Thank you for joining us. And you're sort of like an honorary employee of the district. I think you're here so much. So
I'm still waiting for an office.
That's right. Jen, welcome. How you doing?
Hi, Jim. Thank you. I'm Jen Doyle. I work over at Algonquin Middle School. I teach 7th and 8th grade art, and I'm the advisor of the Kiwanis Builders Club for the middle school.
Great. Thank you, Jen, for joining us. We'll go over to the elementary school. Megan, how are you?
Good morning. Thanks for having me. My name is Megan Beauchamp. I'm the school counselor at West Sand Lake Elementary School. And even though I am not the K-Kids advisor, I'm very lucky that I get to work with our K-Kids students in some of their projects throughout the year. And I also get to connect with our Kiwanis community partners for some holiday projects, which is a passion of mine. So thank you for having me.
Thanks, Megan. And last but not least, Wilfredo.
Hey, good morning. I'm Wilfredo Reyes. I am a high school biology teacher here at Averill Park High School. I teach bio and chemistry, actually. And I am the Key Club advisor.
Great. Thank you for joining us. And Wilfredo, new to this role with Kiwanis and the Key Club. So thank you for picking up that role, a very important one in our high school. Tim, moving on to you, can you talk to us a little bit about what Kiwanis does, the mission, the vision, and how do members go about accomplishing those goals? I'm fortunate enough to be a member and get to see some of that and the great work that your folks do. Can you talk to us a little bit about Kiwanis and what you do?
Absolutely. Again, thank you for having me. So I'll give you our short elevator speech first, and then I'll kind of break it down a little bit. So the Kiwanis is a global organization of volunteers dedicated to improving the world one child and one community at a time. We strive to be a positive influence in our community. So that's our elevator speech. And so now I'll talk to you like I'm talking to, just someone on the street. And so how do we do that? How do we do what I just had mentioned? So here at the Kiwanis level, here in Sand Lake, we meet weekly, and we have different committees that plan out our projects and programs. Some of the examples include service leadership programs, which I'm involved with, because not only being the president of Kiwanis, I'm also the Key Club advisor on the Kiwanis side, and I work with Wilfredo with his Key Club students. So the leadership programs, advisors for the K-Kids, Builders Club, and Key Club. And what that really does is, to get a little deeper into that, some of our Kiwanis community events. We organize Kiwanis community events, which could include Summerfest, which a lot of people are familiar with. We do an ice fishing derby. We do a touch a truck event. And all these proceeds go back into our community and to our youth. Some of those funds are used to pay for our Thanksgiving food baskets to help families in need. And I know that we had some of the Key Club students come in and help us to do that. Some of those monies go for our food baskets and toy giveaway at Christmas, which actually I'll use this for a little pitch for this Monday night. And hopefully we get some of the Key Club. And if we have Builders Club kids that want to join us at the Veterans Hall, we pack those boxes this Monday. We also sponsor a kids fishing derby at our town beach. in turn, we ask Key Club and Builders Club students to help us do this kind of thing, not just because obviously we need the help sometimes, but seeing the youth students interact with our other organizations, our older people in our community, so that we see that what we see is what being a good community member is all about, and that propagates into later on in life. Be proud of your community. Be proud of where you come from. And this community doesn't survive without community organizations like Kiwanis. So that's kind of where we're at. I'm sure I'll chirp in a few more things as we go on through this podcast.
Great. Thank you, Tim. And it is such a key role in the community and in the school. For those who don't know, we do have Kiwanis clubs at each of the levels and at the elementary in each of the buildings. And those clubs are a huge part of what we do. So we thank Kiwanis for their partnership. Kind of sticking with that theme, Jen, over at Algonquin, can you talk to us a little bit about what the Builders Club is, what they do, how many students are involved, some of the projects that you complete during a school year? What's kind of going on over there with the Builders Club at Algonquin?
Okay, thank you, Jim. To piggyback on what Tim just said, the Builders Club is student-led. It helps develop young leadership skills through service to the school and the community. It's a service club that exists for voluntary and charitable activities. The club partners with AMS students with a common goal. And the charter club is a partnership with the Sand Lake Kiwanis organization, as Tim said. We usually get anywhere from 10 to 25 kids in membership each year. And 4 of those students are our club officers that help guide and organize and maintain the leadership of the club. This year, we started out really strong. We had planned back in June what we were going to do for this year. And I have a lot of returning members every year. We started out with the canned good collection for local food pantry for Kiwanis. And married to that, we also ran our Socktober event, which is, it's a really fun activity where the kids collect new socks from the community and the students. And this year we decided to donate them to the Albany Veterans Hospital. And in years past, we've typically gone to Joseph's house in Troy. The kids collected 346 pairs of socks this year. They're pretty excited about that. It was a great number. Right now, presently, what we're doing is we're selling the Bells of Life for $1 at school. And this money goes to the Albany Med Pediatric Intensive Care Unit. And what it does is it helps provide care for fun activity care for kids from 1 to 18 years old that are suffering from critical illness, such as like cancer and diabetes. We've collected $140 so far. The excitement in the school is so great. It just exploded in the last 48 hours. My members have come in and they're like, Ms. Doyle, can I go on and talk about it and describe it to everybody what it means? And it's so exciting to see the kids engaged in it and selling during the lunch periods. And I had one of the moms, Julie Hansen, that sold at one of the concerts for me the other night. The other thing we're doing right now is the winter clothing drive, and that's something that we do annually also. And we collect hats, mittens, coats, scarves, and typically donate that to a homeless shelter. So they're pretty busy. They got a lot of energy, which is wonderful. And it's such an honor to actually, to guide them and be part of this. So thank you, Tim.
Oh, thank you. If I could just interject there for a second, you guys have set the bar way high. And your president, Jeffrey, he came in and he presented at one of our Kiwanis meetings, and he is an amazing young man.
He sure is. Yes.
You
And
guys
I
are awesome.
Yeah, he's great. He's planning to go to the next Kiwanis meeting in January, and we're going to get a couple other kids to go over as well and speak. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
That's what we're all about.
It is. Glad to be part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. That's fantastic stuff. Just a great group, and certainly no lacking of energy for middle school students. So switching over to the elementary level, Megan, you're kind of representing West Sand Lake, and I think really just kind of elementary in general in terms of K Kids, which is the Kiwanis Club that at the elementary level and the impact that's having, but just, what students are learning about themselves and the community by being a member of organizations like Key Club and K Kids at the elementary, and how that's all working and functioning down there with the great work being done at the elementary level. Can you talk to folks about that a little bit?
Sure. Even though I'm not the advisor for K Kids, I do get kind of a front row seat to see the children in action here at West Sand Lake. And I have definitely noticed the impact not only on the community, but on the children that are participating in K Kids. They're learning that the world is so much bigger than themselves, and they're really starting to understand how they can help address the needs in the community, even as children. They collect things, they donate things, they share out to their peers, they get other folks to donate things or bring things and become involved. And of course, at their K Kids meetings, they're doing a lot of hands-on activities that directly go out into the community. In November, I was lucky enough to go to their meeting and work with them on Thanksgiving cards that actually went to Kiwanis that they included in the food boxes that families picked up, which I think was really special for the students to see and to know that it was going to go to someone right in their own community. And we really talk about the why behind the food baskets to help them really understand the needs in the community and give them that sense of the world is really bigger than you in 5th grade. They're also learning a lot of valuable skills like learning how to advocate for others. They're learning about planning and organizing activities. They're learning about publicity, public speaking, making announcements, sharing out to their classmates and their peers. They're learning about teamwork and so much more. So I cannot say enough about our advisors, Julianne Strano and Jackie Scambati. They do a fantastic job with the K Kids, and the kids are really motivated to learn more about the community and to serve others.
That's great. It's so important to have that starting at the elementary level so it can work its way up and through. And then we get to the high school, and Wilfredo, as I mentioned earlier, you're new in this role. Can you talk to folks about what the Key Club is at the high school and how are students involved there and some of the projects that you're doing with that group at the high school?
Yeah, sure thing. So the Key Club is that natural progression from the K Kids at the elementary and the Builders Club at the middle school level. So Key Club is the same thing at that Kiwanis organization at the high school level. The Key Club is a student-led organization that it helps provide students with the opportunity to provide service to the community at large. It helps them build some character and then develop their leadership skills. So these students should be taking on these service projects from start to finish. So thinking of them, going out in the community, finding them, and then accomplishing them. We have about 20 students currently on our roster. Some come and go because these students are very busy. They're athletes, they're leaders in their community already. Some of them are busy doing things. So they come and go as needed, but they still come and get their projects done. Some of the projects we've completed this year are writing letters to hospice patients, creating enrichment for dogs at the Hawk Humane Society, and currently we're raising money for the Albany Medical Center PICU through the Bells of Life fundraiser.
That's great work. Thank you. For the group as a whole, can you talk a little bit about what does it mean to you to be part of something that's bigger than yourself? Teaching our students the importance of assisting and supporting those in need. Obviously, this time of year, it's especially important, but you all have different lives outside of what we're talking about on this podcast. What does this part of your life mean to you individually?
It does my heart good to see all these great stories here. And one of the things that's not talked about a lot, and I see it from the outside looking in, is you can tell the difference between a child, student, young adult who's gone through an organization such as Kiwanis. They carry themselves differently. When they're public speaking, by the time they get to middle school, high school, you can see that difference, that they have that confidence in what they're doing. And as far as, being a part of something that's bigger than yourself, it's funny that you asked that, because I've never really thought of it that way. It's just the way that we are. It's giving back to the community. If that happens to be something bigger than ourselves, that's a bonus. Seeing what these students or young adults are doing, I hope at some point they do look back and say, man, I'm so glad that I got involved with, with Kiwanis, with Key Club, with Builders Club, with K Kids, and when they go on to college, there is Circle K in a lot of our colleges that, carry forward. And it is the way the world is right now. We need that sense of community. We need that sense of being part of something that, again, is bigger than ourselves. That is something good. If we don't get involved and take it back, then shame on us. We're not doing our jobs as leaders right now. And again, it makes me feel good to be part of, with the school also, the school being willing to allow us to be a part of the school and helping with these building programs.
The school counselor in me just wants to comment on how this ties into our social emotional learning goals of the district, how we do shape students into good citizens. And one of the main components of our social emotional goals is social awareness, beyond self-awareness, but social awareness, and learning to take the perspective of others and empathize with people who have not had the same lived experiences that we have. The elementary students are really starting to understand that. They're figuring out who they are. They're figuring out their place in the world. And I think that activities like K-Kids, Builders Club, and Kiwanis, it helps them figure out what they want their role to be in their community and their world. And that is learning about themselves socially. So I think it's important from that regard too.
And I think speaking for with the middle school and Builders Club, it creates just a wider community. It creates like an empathy and a compassion for the students. It empowers them. It definitely gives them very positive feelings, and their actions are positive as well. And they realize that it's beyond the classroom walls. They're going outside into the community. We couldn't do it without Kiwanis. Pat Lane is our representative that comes into our buildings. She is a dynamo. She's been great. For me, I think it completes me as an educator advising this group. I've been doing it only 5 years, and it's very humbling. I'm honored to be part of the team, Tim. And Jim, I'm honored to represent Averill Park and be with this team of kids. Thanks.
At the high school level, what I see from a lot of the students is that it kind of gives them the sense of accomplishment. They get a lot of meaning out of working with people in the community and other students as well. So they get this sort of connection to the community that they wouldn't normally get. They get to see people from different walks of life. And even though they might have learned about those things, actually experiencing them and doing them seems to give them this profound sense of fulfillment of being part of the community, knowing that they themselves actually did it and engaged, and they brought the community together via either through connection or providing a service or a good to somebody who maybe couldn't get those things or needed them, and they provided them. So it gives these students some purpose.
Those are such valuable, great perspectives from as Megan said, the counselor part to the community connection. It's just in watching kids grow in these roles. It's huge. It's a huge thing that we have, and the work that you folks are doing and leading that is tremendous. So thank you very much. So Tim, going back to you, as you mentioned earlier, you're not only involved in Kiwanis, but also in Opiates, an organization that you and your wife started. Could you talk to our listeners about that organization and then also your partnership with the district in that role, the different hats that you wear here?
Okay, sure. So, kind of all mixed together, but being involved in different community organizations like Kiwanis, my organization that me and my wife, Kim, had formed back in late 2015 after we had lost our son to an accidental overdose. It's called an Opiates Committee for obvious reason. It's no to opiates, no opiates, no opiates. Obviously, everybody watches the news. I don't think there's anybody who's not been affected by substance use disorder in some way, shape, or form. So the Opiates Committee, we're a local grassroots organization, as we know, and our focus is on education. With the schools, primarily it's education on what's out there and what parents need to be aware of. So I'll give you an example of one of the events that we have hosted. It was called Hidden Dangers. We're going to do it again. It was we build a mock teenager's bedroom, and we show parents what to look for. Our students, our youth, are being bombarded by a lot of negativity, a lot of things that are going on, and unfortunately, or fortunately, they're teenagers. And one of the things that I will talk about in groups is that, I was a teenager 120 years ago. I get it. You guys are risk takers. You're gonna do stuff that you're gonna turn around 10 years and say, why did I do that? Unfortunately, the way things are nowadays, your mistakes can be one and done with some of the things that are out there. You see some of the, for lack of better terms, advertisement out there. One pill can kill. That is out there, and I'm talking about fentanyl, and something like that it's in everything. Not to digress from what opiates does. Just an example of some of the things that we do is getting this information to our students and to our parents. What's going on out there. We also some of the other events, we have one going on this weekend. It's called the Transformation Project. And what that is, we found out years ago that getting our message out there, it's fine and all well and good to do events where it's us talking or, spreadsheets and this and that's good. But the other form of communication is art. And that's what this program is all about, getting our message and the message of recovery. We have families who've gone through some things that are not very pleasant, and it's hard for people to describe to other people what they've gone through, especially when it comes to shame and stigma surrounding this. So the No Opiates Committee, we're out there. We're in our community here of Averill Park, Sand Lake. You're more than welcome to check us out at noopiates.com for any of our events. We also work directly with our student assistance counselors, Kim Favreau and Joe Denizio, who are fantastic. They get it. They see what the students are going through, and they're kind of our boots on the ground on what's going on as far as trends. Something is what people think is nothing, vaping, things like that. It is something. It is a pathway to a substance use disorder. And there's other things that are on the market out there that we'll see the trends. And the reason we know it's a trend is because we're in contact with our schools, as you know, Dr. Franchini. So that's kind of what Opiates is about. We're ever evolving, ever changing. Table at a lot of events, one of them being the Youth Summit in Albany, where a lot of schools attend. Great information is given. We have great speakers, and we've also helped provide guest speakers at the high school, people who've gone through issues with substance use disorder, how they've lost and how they've recovered. And there is stories of success, and we try to bring that to our students. We try to get pre-prom events, alternatives to what the typical after-prom activities are. We'll try to do safe and sober events, with our different schools, our different levels of school. So if anybody, if you want to reach out to us, again, noopiates.com, please feel free. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. And again, that organization has done tremendous work in our schools, and we can't thank you enough for that. And you mentioned two really key players in that, our two student assistance counselors at the middle school and the high school, who are fantastic. And that's a partnership that we have with the county. They're actually county employees. So again, you got the county, the school, you got a not-for-profit like your group, all kind of coming together. And it's huge. It's a huge part of providing assistance and support to kids. So thank you very much. So heading back to the elementary, we've kind of hit upon some of these things. Getting students involved with community and civic engagement is huge. And I think at the middle school and high school, I think the kind of people maybe identify that more with. But Megan, can you talk a little bit about why it's important to get students involved in these topics, these areas at the elementary level?
Sure. So I think that social awareness is really important. And children are never too young to learn that they are capable of helping others. In the fall, we do an activity called the Harvest Run, and we collect canned goods and shelf-stable goods for a whole week leading up to the Harvest Run. And all of those things that we collect go to Kiwanis for their Thanksgiving and Christmas boxes. But as part of the event that day, we show a little movie clip, and I think it's a Swedish or it's a Norwegian advertisement. But the gist of the video is that there's a little boy and he opens his lunchbox and he has no lunch. And he gets up and he goes to the bathroom because he knows that he has nothing to eat. So he sort of stalls his way through the building. He gets a drink of water and he comes back to his desk and he realizes that his lunchbox is now full of food, and it's 3 grapes from this student, and it's 2 red pepper spears from this student, and a half a sandwich from someone else. And we really try to tell the kids that if you have enough or if you have plenty, you can share. And the video really shows them, like on a super small scale, that they can do that. And, the kid that gave the grapes, he still had enough too. He had enough to share. The kid that shared his sandwich, he had enough. He shared and he still had plenty himself. And so that is a theme that we try to hit on here throughout all of our activities at West Sand Lake, really, that if you have enough, you can share with others. And I think that's really powerful for kids to see that they can help other kids and beyond.
It's pretty powerful stuff. Thank you. And a great reason to kind of identify these topics for elementary students and build that at a young age. Back to middle school and high school for Jen and Wilfredo. What's on the horizon for your clubs for this year? What type of things do you see happening as we go forward?
Well, for the middle school, we have a busy second half of the school year coming up. And I just want to piggyback on what Meg just said, that West Sand Lake does. They are just amazing with what they do. But Post and Kill and Miller Hill as well. I get all the kids that come up to me in 6th grade, and they're so energetic and excited to join from each of the elementary schools. They've created a great bridge coming right into us, and they approach me, which is great. So we've already got, for January, we're going to do a pillow and bedding collection. Pat Lane had come to me and she said last year, that Joseph's House in Troy needed bedding. So when you talk to the kids and tell them that they need warm blankets and pillows to lay their head on at night, the turnout was amazing last year. It was great to see all these gigantic pillows. I think we collected maybe 45 pillows that came into the school. People from the community come in. You can come right into the front foyer at Algonquin, and we have boxes there that are well tagged for you to leave the stuff. I have another little storage room in the building that I can keep things in. And the way that we advertise it at the middle school is we have morning announcements. We have our TVs in each of the classrooms. So we have a rolling screen of different Canvas slides that let you know like how long the drive is going to run, what it is, and what the purpose of it is. We put it out on social media in Averill Park, and we also include it in the Algonquin weekly emails. So we're looking at probably sometime down the road, a hygiene drive that we did last year. They collect soap, toothpaste, combs, brushes. Later on in the year too, Brinley's bag, which is something that Julianne Strano has pulled me in on this year, which is fabulous. It's little care packages for the families at the NICU at Albany Med. And then we always touch into the animals at the Mohawk Humane Society. We like to either make toys or collect toys for them. Kindness rocks, we're working on painting kindness rocks and to just put in the gardens outside at Algonquin. We do art making for local nursing homes and deliver that to them. Just little messages, just something that we might laminate it and they can hang it in their rooms just to make them feel good and keep them company throughout the year. One other thing that we like to do is we like to collect the pop tops. Now, this is something that we do district-wide, and they come off of like the cat cans and the soup cans and other cans, and we collect those. And we hand them into Pat Lane at Kiwanis each June, and then she takes them and it gets money for them. So last year we collected $500. This money goes to the Ronald McDonald House in Albany, where families stay when their children are at Albany Med. for long periods of time. And Pat just texted me yesterday, and she said that she already has 2 more boxes filled for this year, which is great. So there's a good feel for that, and lots of support. Again, we couldn't do it without the Algonquin family. The community in Averill Park comes in, and we see the box filled, and kids run down to my room and like, Miss Doyle, wait till you see all the stuff we got today. And so it's great accomplishments what the children are doing. So again, glad to be part of it. Thank you.
At the high school level, for the Key Club, we're looking at the local and then at the larger level. So at the local level, we're looking at local community service of like cleaning up the school or park cleanups, setting up volunteering at the West Sand Lake Library for an Inclusibles program, where some of these high school students would reach out and volunteer their time to younger students or children at the local library to get people into the library and enjoy their time there, as it's this safe third location that isn't school or home for them to hang out safely. At the larger level, we're looking at setting up a food drive for the Regional Food Bank of the Northeast. And in March, we have a blood drive scheduled. So hopefully we'll get more turnout for that and donate to our local blood bank. But that's all we have currently. And then as we kind of move forward, we'll get more projects in. The kids have really good ideas. They think really big. So we'll get some more things.
That's exciting stuff at both levels. Well, thank you. I appreciate it again. I know this is a busy time of year for everyone, and to take some time to talk to the community about such an important topic and the work that the 4 of you are doing and leading in our community, both the school community and the large communities, is fantastic. So thank you for the great work you're doing. Thank you for the impact you're having. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Take care.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. See you next time on Every Student, Every Day.